Welcome to Spirituality, Health, Inner Values Academy. Today, we are going to discuss about the prevention and control of neurosis like depression, anxiety, and stress by hypnotherapy. This is part of the mental health webinar series to promote mental health and well-being, organized by Psychology Department, American College. So what is hypnotherapy? It is about the use of hypnosis in psychotherapy. So what is hypnosis? Hypnosis, it is a state of awareness where your body is in deep sleep, but the mind remains alert and awake. So to understand this, we should know the history of hypnotherapy. So the hypnotherapy started with Dr. Mesmer. He had lived during the year period 1734 to 1815. So what he was doing is like he used to cure hysterical patients by the power of cosmic energy. And it's a type of energy which we feel that our body receives this cosmic energy, and the free flow of this energy is required for health and happiness. Like in homeopathy, they say when this energy is balanced in our body, we remain free from health. And in acupuncture, acupressure also, the energy blockages are removed by means of uh, by pressure or by using pins. So this energy, if it is flowing freely all over our body, then there is no illness. But when there is some blockages due to emotional disturbance, then it creates some type of neurotic disorders. So this was being healed by balancing this universal energy by putting them in a trance, in a sleep-like state. So that was practiced by Dr. Mesmer. But later, one Dr. Esdale, who was working with East India Company in Calcutta, he found that those days he was not using anesthetics to perform operations. And because of that, there were a lot of bleeding and there were more deaths. So what he did, he hired some people like 8 to 9 people, healthy people, well-fed people. And with them, he used to induce trance in these patients. So in the trance, people go into deep sleep, but body is asleep, mind is alert and awake. So in that state, he used to perform operations, complicated operations. And he found it worked well. It helped the patients to heal quickly. And he found that there was not even a single death by using this hypnotic trance. And at the same time, he was able to heal different types of diseases just by inducing this trance in the patients. So it is about Dr. Esdale. Then Dr. James Bright, he came and he said, this mesmerism, it is nothing about any universal energy or cosmic energy. It is just a nervous sleep. People go into sleep by focusing on a particular object. Okay. And in that sleep, if we can give some suggestions, it helps them to cure certain illness, certain neurotic disorders. So Dr. James, he named it as hypnosis instead of mesmerism. So from then onwards, it was called as hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So then there was Dr. Jean Charcot. He had an institute in France where he was dealing with people with hysteria, with neurotic disorders. So he used to perform a lot of this hypnotic trance, and he was treating these people with hypnosis. So with Dr. Jean Charcot, there were other people who joined him for internship. That is, one among them is Dr. Sigmund Freud. So Jean Charcot, he used to perform or treat the hysterical patients, neurotic patients with hypnosis. And then in the same France, there was another institute run by Dr. Liebold and Dr. Bernheim. So these two people, what they used to do when normal medicine was not working with the patients, they suggested these patients to go into use hypnosis. They said, if you want to get a free treatment, you can very well and undergo this hypnosis. And most of them agreed. And he used to put them in trance and give suggestions. And with the suggestions, he was able to heal most of the neurotic disorders. So this is explained by Dr. Liebold and Dr. Benham. It is about suggestive therapy in trance. Then there is Mr. Dr. Joseph Breuer. Joseph Breuer, what he used to do, he used to make the person relive all the emotional issues, whatever they had experienced in their lifetime from the childhood days to till date. And that reliving of those emotional issues helped them to heal many types of illness, neurotic disorders. So along with Dr. Joseph Breuer, there was Dr. Sigmund Freud. They were colleagues. They were working together, doing internship together. So Dr. Sigmund Freud later found that this catharsis can happen even without trance, without inducing hypnosis. What was required was focused attention, concentration. So then he named it as psychoanalysis. So then, but in the meantime, there is at the same, almost the same period, Dr. Pierre Janet was there. He formed a theory of dissociation. So what is dissociation? Nowadays, we call it as multiple personality disorder, and the DSM manuals, international classification of diseases, mention it as dissociative identity disorders. So earlier it was multiple personality disorders. What it is, if I want to explain it with simple example, in your laptop, if you have two different folders, and if you are opening one folder, you are just engrossed with the one folder. And once you close this one folder, you open the next folder. In the same way, our consciousness, when it focuses on a group of memories, it forms a different personality. And when it focuses on a different group of memories, you behave as a different personality. So this split in personality, the split in mind, split in consciousness, he termed it as dissociation. He explained dissociation in this way, the multiple personality disorders. And he said when a person is able to release those emotions, traumatic issues, when they relive and sort these mental issues, emotional issues, then these personalities combine together and become a single personality. So this theory was developed by Dr. Pierre Janet. So then there was Dr. Joseph Breuer, Sigmund Freud. Then comes the theory of Carl Jung. Carl Jung, he was mentioning about the collective unconscious. What he says was, whatever we learn, it gets stored in a space or the memory which is accessed by everyone, every individual, every human being. So that was the theory of Carl Jung. Then comes the Milton Erickson, Dr. Milton Erickson. Um, when he was young, he was affected by the polio, and doctor said he cannot live more than 13 years. But with the power of hypnosis, with the power of visualization, imagination, suggestions, he was able to heal himself or make himself better and able to live up to 80 years. So he developed um, many other techniques, or people who learned how Dr. Erickson used some techniques in hypnotherapy. They developed a theory based on that, and that is called as neuro-linguistic programming. So then what are the techniques we learned, which started from Dr. Mesmer up to Dr. Milton Erickson, whatever we use in the present day, we call it as hypnotherapy. So it's all about the history of hypnotherapy. So to understand hypnotherapy, we should know about the different states of consciousness, different levels of experience we experience in our day-to-day life. So in Mandukya Upanishad, they explain about 4 states of consciousness. The first one is waking state, the Jagrat state that we all know. Now we are alert. You are listening to my voice and I am talking. It's a waking state. It can also be called as a beta stage. So then comes the dreaming. When we sleep, we dream. We call it as a stage of alpha, swapna. And then deep sleep. Deep sleep without any dreams, we sleep. There is calmness, there is quietness. But we are not self-aware in deep sleep. So that stage, we can call it as theta stage. Okay. Now then comes the silence. Let us feel the silence now. Just become aware of the objects in front of you. Look at the objects. Feel the sound. You can feel the cool breeze blowing over your body. So now slowly detach from your 5 senses. The eyes, nose, ears, the skin, the taste, the smell. You detach and just focus on the silence. Even your mind is not analyzing anything. It has become silent. Without any thoughts, any analyzing, any thinking going on in your mind, detaching from your 5 senses. You're just focusing on the silence. And feel the silence. So this silent stage is called the delta stage or the turiya. So then comes a 5th stage explained by Sage Tirumular in Tirumandiram. And this stage can also be called as the Rajayogic stage, meditative stage. So what we do here is, let us practice now. Detach from your 5 senses and feel the silence. The mind is still, it is not analyzing anything. You are just an embodiment of silence. And in that silence, when you are free from all types of thinking, all types of responsibilities, you feel the lightness. You feel an inner joy. Like a small child, you have a smile within you. Just smile. So as you detach from your 5 senses, thinking process, you feel the silence. In that silence, you feel that inner joy. It is called as bliss because it is not, you are not taking this happiness from your 5 senses. It is beyond the 5 senses. So that is called as Atintriya Sukh. And in this state, it is as if you are experiencing the qualities of God. It's like you feel the Sachidanand Swarup. Sat is truth, Chit, the pure consciousness, free from the thinking process, and the bliss, the Anand, the Sachidanand. So when you are in this blissful state, you are in connection with the Supreme God who always remain in this blissful stage. So there is peace, there is silence, there is bliss. So this stage beyond the 5 senses, it is called the Turiyatit or the Raja Yoga experience. So now, who am I? When I'm in that pure state of bliss, I am embodiment of bliss, then I have that pure consciousness of sweetness, joy, harmony. And whatever I do it with silence, with peace, with harmony, with everyone. So there is cooperation. So this state of my natural state of pure consciousness is called as human consciousness. And when I have anger, tension, stress, then it becomes like an animal consciousness. So what is our natural human consciousness is about the human values, universal human values, which is applicable to everyone, everywhere. When we are in that peace, the happiness, we have gratitude, there is love, there is trust, fulfillment, cooperation, respect, harmony. And it is these qualities, we call it as the universal human values or the natural qualities, which every human being wants. You want this peace and happiness, and every other person also like to have this happiness and peace permanently, constantly, continuously. So this is called the human consciousness, free from the animal consciousness of lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So the more we experience this universal human values, we remain free from all types of neurotic disorders. So in this state of pure happiness and joy, we don't need hypnotherapy because we are alert, we are aware, we are free from neurosis, we are free from anxiety, stress, and all types of diseases. The more we have this energy, the human values, we receive the cosmic energy. Our whole body receive the cosmic energy, the ki, the chi, the vital force. That energy flows freely all over body, and we remain free from the diseases. But before going to next step, I want you to understand there are two types of happiness now. So one is which exists within you, the natural peace, the happiness. It is not attached with any of your five senses. But there is certain other happiness where it is like when you eat ice cream, you feel nice. Or when you uh, watch a good movie, when you go for um, go to a Marina Beach and you feel the cool breeze, you experience nice situations, you look at the sea and feel good. So these are the happiness you experience by through your five senses. But what we discuss now, beyond the senses, the mind becomes still, silent, and you feel the happiness, joy from within you. So what are these two types of happiness? The one happiness is through the five senses, the other happiness is beyond the senses. And what we experience through the five senses, even the animal experience it. Something like animal consciousness. But what we experience beyond the five senses, the inner peace, joy, that exists all the time, continuous. So that we have to retain constantly. So we have to understand clearly the two different types of happiness and what I want, which happiness I need to retain constantly. That we need to understand. So what am I? See, we know that the peace and happiness, the cooperation, the fulfillment, the joy, the love, we know this is what we want. And we know this is what the next person also wants. But what happens with some misunderstandings? When the other person behave in a different way, we also behave in a different way. Our human consciousness gets transformed into animal consciousness. We start experiencing fear, anger, hatred, tension, stress. So what am I? Who am I? Embodiment of peace and happiness. But what am I? What I have I become? So I have become an embodiment of sometimes human, sometimes animal. So our consciousness, along with the peace and happiness, peace and love, we also carry the hatred, anger, tension, stress. And these emotions leads to diseases. We become neurotic, hysterical. So we have to see, even if somebody else getting angry with me, we should know even the other person basically wants to have peace and happiness, because he doesn't have that understanding. He experience behave like an animal. He behave like he start experiencing hatred, worries, anxieties. But because we have the knowledge, we know that it is every human wants peace and happiness. Then with that peace and happiness, when we interact with the other person, then we are also able to retain that peace and happiness constantly, and at the same time we are able to share this peace and happiness with the other person, and we make them peaceful and happy. Like when a child becomes angry, we don't respond with anger, we respond with peace and silence, so that the child get back to normal behavior. So in the same way, when we are able to deal with our emotions, or deal with the emotions expressed by other person with peace and happiness, then we are able to receive this cosmic energy constantly without any obstacles, and we remain free from diseases, and we don't need any hypnotherapy or hypnosis. But very frequently when we get affected by tension, anxiety, anger, relationship issues, then we need hypnosis, hypnotherapy, to get rid of these emotions, to have more understanding. So when we are affected by these emotions, thoughts, feelings, then affected by this animal consciousness, then we block our cosmic energy in our body. Our hormones start functioning in disharmony. So when there is harmony in feelings and emotions, we have harmonious flow of hormones. But when there is no harmony, when we are affected with animal consciousness, we are affected by the disease. So different types of emotions, thinking create different types of diseases. Like when we feel, when we have the thought of it is weighing me down, I can't stop thinking of it, I'm going to be stressed, then we have emotions of heaviness, and it cause headaches, depression, tension, obsessive thinking. So it affects the head. And certain types of feeling affect our shoulders, back, legs. So to make it simple, this image, to make it simple, I show you another image. So it's like we have different types of emotions and related body syndromes caused by the blockages of the cosmic energy, which was explained or practiced by Dr. Mesmer, and also the energy which is explained by homeopathy, and acupuncture, acupressure, chi. So when that energy is blocked by various emotions, like when I'm not able to express my feelings, then I have the crying syndrome. When I feel a lot of responsibility because of my childhood difficulties, whatever I had experienced, or when I am a eldest child, I feel more responsibility from your child, from my childhood days. And when I carry those emotions of feeling more responsibility in every activity, then I have issues with the shoulders, responsibility syndrome. When I'm not able to understand situations, I keep fighting with the people, that gets into the fighting syndrome of issues with the hands. When I worry about the past, then I have these guilt syndromes, then not able to deal with the situations. I want to run away from the situations. I have the flight syndrome, issues with the legs, thighs. So with this animal consciousness, when I don't experience the joy, happiness constantly, then I have different types of illness, diseases. So what is hypnotherapy? It helps us remove the obsession of thoughts. It stops me from being lost in past memories. It makes me alert and awake. It now it stops me from doing things in an automatic way like a robot. It helps me re-emerge the universal human values of peace, love, happiness, joy, cooperation, fulfillment, love. And when I experience these qualities, naturally I share with others. So the purpose of hypnotherapy is to become aware of these issues that is happening within me, that I'm not able to remain with the original qualities of peace, love, and happiness. And then you don't become irritated or worried about it. You accept it. Okay, it is happening with me. And now I going to get rid of these emotions by with better understanding, uh, by experiencing these universal human values constantly, by being peaceful and happy continuously. I work on these issues. I uh, make myself better. I learn new skills. I learn assertiveness. I learn communication skills. I learn life skills. So by doing all these things, I I am healing myself. So it's a slow process or maybe a long time process, doesn't matter. Okay. So first is I become aware of it, what is happening to me, whether I am in animal consciousness or human consciousness or a mix of consciousness. Then I accept it. Then I work on it. So this is the hypnotherapy, the process of hypnotherapy. So objectives of hypnotherapy is to enable the patient to recognize the associations, because whatever happened in the past, I associate with those memories and I become worried, anxious, tense. So when I understand because it has happened in the past, I don't need to associate with those past memories, then I stop associating with those negative emotions. I am able to express the peace, love, harmony, joy every moment by not associating with the past feelings of sadness, worry, and anxiety, the depression, the guilt feelings. Then sometimes I distort some information. I hear something, understand something in a different way. So I remove those distortions. I stop doing generalization. See, something what you learn good, you can generalize it. But something what happened in the past, maybe somebody was angry with you. You don't feel that all the people are going to be angry with you, or everyone showing and showing angry with you, or all people are like this. Nobody shows a love for me. So we don't generalize any particular negative incident. We don't generalize it. So in hypnotherapy, we identify whether we have associated something, we associated with some negative emotions, we misunderstand something. Do we generalize some information, putting me into anxiety and stress? Uh, do I assume something? Maybe somebody has not told you anything, but you assume that those people are, making you feel bad by certain activities, or thinking that they are not happy with you, or they feel bad about your certain actions. You just imagine, but it need not be true sometimes. So these understandings you get through hypnotherapy. Then interpersonal perceptions, what you understand between two people, because these misunderstandings create a lot of issues within us with interpersonal relationship, that you get clarified. Defense mechanism, whatever I do, whether I speak lies, whether I uh, do something harm in a different way, whether I keep worrying myself, whether I blame something, instead of learning out of the situations. Like if you are not able to perform some activity, we start blaming ourselves and others. That is defense mechanisms. So there are varieties of defense mechanism what we use. Sometimes we lie, sometimes we hide. So all these things we can understand better. We can understand what are the different types of defense mechanism we use, and we get rid of it to lead a happy and healthy life. And many times the attachment with certain things, people's thoughts, objects, then we put ourselves into trouble. So these things we understand and get rid of those things to lead a healthy and happy life by hypnotherapy. So what are the techniques we use? We use relaxation so that we are able to focus. Some people can do it without relaxation, like Sigmund Freud never used relaxation, but many times it requires people when they are relaxed, it is easy to focus on these issues. It is easy to understand things better. So with relaxation, we increase the focus, and we can have some suggestion also. We can understand, we can respond better. So that is increased suggestibility. And we also identify the root cause, because we know whatever we do, perform, we learn from our past. So if I am behaving in a negative way, if I am in with human conscious, if I am with animal consciousness instead of human consciousness, if I am not expressing my basic human values in my interactions, then I find out from where I learned this. So I identify the root cause, and then I change the way. I know, okay, because of this incident, I am behaving in this way. Now let me understand that incident, understand the other person, they behaved in the way. I understand the psychological, biological, and social factors, so that I can change the way I see things, the perception I change, the outlook I change. Then I become better day by day. So this can be done by talking with the person whom we had some issues in the past. In trance, we can communicate with the people, so that we call it as hypnodrama. So with all these techniques, we change our negative behavior into positive behavior, and we can also imagine, see our future, how better we are becoming with these techniques. So that is, we do a rescript, we change our life. So this can be seen by imagination, visualization. So these are the different techniques we use in hypnotherapy. So with this hypnotherapy, we can get rid of fear, phobia, the migraines. We can empower ourselves. Stress can be removed. We can become free from anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts we can avoid, and some type of psychosomatic illness, behavior modifications, all these can happen. So medical doctors say about 75 to 90% of diseases are caused by mind, by our thinking process. So almost 90% of diseases can get rid of by hypnotherapy, which is also a part of psychotherapy. So I can give you some examples. Like I know a child who came to me uh, with fear, like in the night she used to scream and cry. So they have taken this child to a lot of tantric and all those techniques they have used, but at the end they came to me, and I didn't use any trance or some complicated techniques. It was simple technique. I just talked to this little girl very playfully. I had to talk, and I just asked, what happened, when was the first time, or where did you see all these crocodiles, or all those things she sees in the night time. So she just said, saw all these things in the movie when she was watching a movie along with her father. Then I made her to understand what she saw in the movie need not come in the in her bedroom. And so I just said, and all these are all just an imagination what she was having uh, after seeing that movie. Just by this simple explanation, she was able to get rid of the screaming and fearing. And I have another case who had a migraine for so many years. In just one session, she was able to cure. Again, phobia. So there are many instances where people get rid of phobia just instantly with this one session. Okay. So what happens is this neurotic, in the sense, um, some illness which you have because of certain emotions which you experienced at one point of time, once you access that emotions, really wait and understand, then at that very moment you become free from that neurotic disorder. Okay, so these are the different applications we use. And we are also able to deal with multiple personality disorders. We try to make them deal with those individual personalities, understand why they got split, what was the emotional reasons, and we try to understand, identify, and the more we talk about it, the more person get relieved of these emotional issues. And these most of the time, even these personality disorders get cured. Otherwise, even at least they are able to deal with those situations in a better way, with better understanding by hypnotherapy. And people who are affected by these non-communicable diseases like diseases, diabetes, cancer, stroke, heart attack, even addictions. See, these even the physical disorders. Some people get neurotic disorders due to stress and these misunderstandings, emotional issues. Some people get physical disorders. So ultimately, hypnotherapy helps both neurotic patients, psychotic patients, even the people with physical disorders, even people with addictions. All these people need therapies, need understanding of how their mind function, why they behave in a particular way, or what is the cause of those emotions, and why they get affected by these stressful emotions in their daily activities. So when they have a better understanding, they can lead a better life, and they can lead a healthy life by understanding all aspects: psychological factors, biological factors, social factors, and even the spiritual factors. So even the organic disorders which we feel we cannot treat with this counseling, but even from where they got these organic disorders, because many a child, even in the mother's womb, they get affected by the emotions which are experienced by the mother. And even some other causes, even the physical causes, something which they consume during their pregnancy may also affect the child. But when you have a better understanding, when you have a clear mind, you have a better understanding of what to eat, when to sleep, when to wake up, what to do, what not to do. With a clarity in the mind, you have a clarity of uh, what your body requires physically and mentally, so that you are able to prevent physical disorders and mental disorders. So these are some practical sessions, experiences. So if you want to learn this course in a proper way, in a systematic way, we have introduced this course with Annamalai University. Annamalai University, in association with Education Wing Brahma Kumaris, they have introduced courses on uh, counseling and spiritual health, diploma, PG diploma, MSc, where they teach these hypnotherapy techniques. So if you are interested, you can enroll for this course. And if you want further details, you can write to me to this email ID, and or you can send WhatsApp or call me in the phone number. If you are interested to join this Annamalai University course, then there you have there are books, Instant Healing and Sattvam, where I had explained this simple technique on how to deal with these emotional issues. So if you are interested, you can get this book. You can write to me so that I'll provide you details from where you get this book, either Instant Healing or Sattva. Both the books explain these techniques in English and Hindi. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for listening to this session. And we expect you to understand better. But now I would like to give you one technique. If you don't find a therapist or this course, I can give you one technique. Um, See, if you want to get rid of these emotional healings in a simple way, what I would suggest, write down your complete life history from your childhood days to till date. Anytime when you find time, you write it down and identify what are the emotions you had experienced in your life. The animal consciousness, the fear, anger, hatred, worry, anxiety, depression, hopelessness. Just write it down, whatever has happened in your life because of your own self or because of others or because of the situations, and try to understand what made you to experience. Either it is your misunderstanding of the psychobiosocial factors, or is it the misunderstanding of the other person about the psychobiosocial factors. So once you understand, okay, it has happened, whatever has happened is happened because of the misunderstandings, either because of you or because of others. But ultimately, you and me want peace and happiness. Maybe our behavior don't show that, but ultimately we do things either to make myself happy or to make others happy. So in that way, try to understand whatever has happened in your life and write it down. It can be a letter to God. You write down everything, whatever has happened in your life, so that you understand things better. And second thing, you relive and release all those emotions from your body, mind, and soul forever, so that you become more peaceful, calm, and relaxed. And once you finish writing your life history, but keep this habit of writing every day. Every day before going to sleep, write a letter to God of whatever has happened throughout the day, so that before going to sleep you are completely peaceful and happy, so that your sleep, you will have a very good and nice sleep, and with lot of energy you wake up next day. So even morning when you wake up, you can sit in silence, feel this silence, peace, happiness, connect with the God with these qualities, and start the day with this happiness and joy, and finish the day with happiness and joy. Okay. Thank you.